We're kicking off season 2 of your favorite end of the week party. Soul Care Live is coming to you with a new look, a new name, and a whole new attitude. Subscribe while you're here and share. Tell a friend that Soul Care for Single Black Women is live.
Soul Care for Single Black Women. Soul Care, Soul Care, Soul Care for Single Black Women. Soul Care Life.
Hey everybody. How y'all doing out there in the world? How are y'all doing? It has been a long time. And when I tell you life has been doing just like this, every which way, y'all don't even know. Y'all don't know the half. I am Tracy, your host of our all-new Soul Care Live. Welcome to season 2 of the party, formerly Friday Live. We wanted to change the name to kind of better represent what it is we are here to do, honey. We're here to care for the soul, really of Black people, but mostly of Black women. But just to give y'all a little recap of what all has been going on, we have one of the things, let me put it like that, one of the things, of many things that's been going on is that my husband and I have relocated. So now if you know, you know. But if you don't know, let me tell you, honey, we done went all the way over west, honey, to the beach, child, over here in California, girl. And guy, because I know AB down there listening. But we done moved all the way over here to California. Just a leap of faith, just kind of a feeling, a nudge to move out here, and the doors start opening, and we just say, you know what, we're going to go with it. We're going to go with it, because worst case scenario, we have to go back, So we don't know what our God's going to do while we're out here, but we are excited about it. And we're looking forward to it. Today, like I said, it's marking our season 2 of whole new thing with new look, new name, girl, new music. Did y'all hear the music, y'all? Oh my God. So today we're going to kick off also not just this new season, but a new series. A series that we're doing for the next few weeks that's called Unanswered Questions. We are tackling some of the things that I've heard in the many circles that I've been in, both on and offline, among single women, married women, just women in general, and questions that they've had that have been piercing about different things, not just dating, not just relationships, friendships. We're talking about friendships. We're talking about all sorts of things over this next month in this topic of unanswered questions. So to get ready to kick off the whole thing, y'all, put a little something together to get y'all prepped up and ready for what we about to do. Y'all ready? Y'all ready for it? In the meantime, share this with a friend. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't. This is not going to be on Facebook. Last time we were on Facebook. We're doing everything solely on YouTube this time. And so yeah, if you're not a subscriber on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe and make sure you invite a friend. But in the meantime, in between time, let's jump into today's topic. Y'all ready? Let's go. With a quick Google search, you can see that there is no shortage of advice, books, programs, etc. directed toward women to adapt, adjust, and become whatever is needed to be the ideal partner and find the ideal partner. For decades, women have felt the weight of carrying the imbalanced burden of relationship readiness. It's been stressful, tiresome, and left a lot of women heartbroken when the effort isn't reciprocated. But with time comes a change, and women are starting to ask tough questions about being the emotional gatekeeper in relationships. All around social media, posts, memes, and comments like these are popping up with women seeking balance and being prepared for a healthy, thriving relationship. There are even jokes and hashtags poking fun at the lengths men will go to not to get help and sound advice from people who are qualified to help them. It's left a lot of men silently drowning and making relationship choices that may be comforting in the moment, but don't ultimately heal or prepare them for a healthy relationship. So it begs the question, who is helping the men? We know of plenty of men who are thriving in healthy relationships who are seeking to call other men to a life of mental and emotional wholeness
that every man receives in his lifetime. And the phrase is to be a man. And I'd ask every man listening to this, you think about the context when you were young and someone told you to be a man. It was almost always in the context of stop acting that way. Stop with the tears, stop with the emotion. Don't be some kind of mama's boy, some kind of sissy. Be a man.
Find yourself in between a rock and a hard place. If you let this happen, you'll find yourself in manhood hell.
By the time I turned 12, I quickly became addicted to X-rated magazines. The feeling of having the most beautiful women literally at my fingertips and under my control was a temptation I couldn't resist, turning into an unhealthy desire for the real thing. Instead of sacred, sex with a woman has become equivalent to putting another trophy in our mental display cases, our egos.
The other thing I couldn't tell them is that I didn't want any. You know, that's even worse. We're supposed to always be on the prowl. Women are objects, especially sexual objects.
Our guest today is linking arms with these gentlemen and owning a very critical space in the emotional and mental wellness of our men. In the first installment of our Unanswered Questions Series, today AB and I will attempt to answer the question, who is helping the men? All right. So I hope that gave y'all a nice little setup on where we're going today. I know this is Soul Care for Single Black Women, but again, one of the unanswered questions that I have heard so many times, Tracy, I'm doing all this work because y'all know I got, we still got the Soul Detox, praise the Lord. So you can enroll in that program, souldetox.net. But I get so many women like, I'm doing all this work to get ready and to be prepared and to be my best self. What if I meet a man and he's not ready? What if I meet a man and he ain't done no work? And so this is a question that is on women's minds, okay? And that's not to say that all men aren't doing work. Obviously they are, okay? There are some that are, but a lot are not, and so we're just addressing it and speaking to it today. And specifically, our good friend to the show, he's been here before. He is a relationship therapist, and he has just launched, I think it's newly launched, a new movement called the Sexual Miseducation of Black Men in America. The Sexual Miseducation of Black Men in America. So I would like to welcome to the stage my dear friend, A.B. Bracewell. Hey, A.B.
Hey, Tracy, how you doing?
I'm doing
I like the new.
How are you?
I'm great. I like the new intro and everything. Looks good.
Thank you. We want to change it up a little bit, do a little something, make it a little special, as we move forward. So look, AB, I want to dive right on into this because clearly you see that there is a need for something amongst our men. And I know for a long time, like many years, I was always in the mindset like something needs to happen with the men. Before all this men going to therapy and everything, or everybody going to therapy was going on many years ago, it's just always been in the back of my mind. It just seems like people are overlooking men. Even when we think about the profession that we're in, we see things for women's mental health and children's mental health. And then you don't really see stuff like truly geared towards men until now. So I first want you to tell us about your new movement and what is it? What is it all about? What inspired it?
Okay, well, great. Well, once again, thanks for having me on the show. Once again, always a pleasure. So, the new, I should call it a movement. That I founded, and you're right, that I'm just starting. It's called the Sexual Miseducation of Black Men in America. About a year ago, I would say, something came over me. I mean, a passion for for men, for helping men, especially in that area about our sexual education. So what we basically do with this movement, or what we're trying to do, we're trying to see how our sexual education has affected us psychologically, how it affects us emotionally, how it affects us relationally, and how it affects us mentally. Because to be honest with you, a lot of the lessons that we've learned, a lot of the conditioning that we received as men when it comes to sex, it was wrong, it was toxic, and it was very destructive to us. So, and it lasts for years and years, and it starts very early. A lot of the things that we've learned about sex, it affects the way we manage ourselves in relationship. It affects the way we parent. It affects our community. It affects so much because men have been groomed to be so sexually driven in unhealthy ways that like it impacts everything that we touch. It impacts our own future. So I really look to a lot of areas about sex, like the type of pain that we cause due to our unhealthy sexual habits, the type of pain that's in us, or the type of pain that we sometimes cover up due to our unhealthy sexual habits. The misunderstanding of what manhood is and what how to measure manhood. We've learned that one of the biggest ways that we measure our manhood is by the amount of women that we sleep with and the way that we perform in the bedroom. So this whole movement, the whole goal of this movement is to teach younger generations new and better ways to measure their manhood. To show them that, hey, your manhood is not determined by what you do in the bedroom. So hopefully it'll grab some older men, but my goal is really to re-educate the younger generations, the next generation of kings.
To kind of break that cycle of that toxicity. Yeah.
Exactly.
How have men been receptive of, or even young men, how have they been receiving this message?
Surprisingly, they receive it with open arms. They receive it with open arms. Like the conversations that we've had, the transparency that we experience when we have these discussions, it has been great. I have a lot of older guys that kind of mentor or have started mentoring teenagers about this. And, I think a big part of it probably is very personal to me because my son just turned 13. So at a certain point, I'm watching him grow, I'm watching him develop and mature. And, I've made a lot of mistakes the way I managed my sexuality growing up. And I don't want him to make some of the same mistakes, or, I want to at least give him the opportunity or give him the knowledge to do the right things when it comes to managing his sexuality. Over the past year and a half since I've started this, I've probably interviewed about 100 men. And the first question I always ask them is, where did you learn about sex? What was the foundation? And the top 10 answers, or I can give you the top 5, is pornography.
I knew that was number one.
Yeah, X-rated magazines, their peers, music, videos, internet, things of that nature. And all those sources of knowledge really teach unhealthy ways to view our sexuality and to deal with sex. So it's personal because I want to guide my son, but then there's a lot of young men that need this information as well.
Wow, that's really amazing, and it's a huge hill to climb because it's so ingrained, in how men are socialized, And I like you said, you're reaching more towards the young men who maybe haven't gotten that far into the as Tony Porter, one of the guys in the video said, into the man box. But I'm guessing, I'm wondering, do you receive any pushback from like older men who are saying, hey, this is just the way it is? Or are guys like ready to be free from that? Like older guys, when you have these discussions with them.
Well, I anticipate pushback coming.
Yeah.
But we're still new. We're still brand new, and we're still spreading the message. But I know it's not a popular message. I know it is
Yeah.
a very it's very unpopular right now. So I anticipate pushback. I know it's not the cool thing to talk about. It's not the cool thing to do, and there's millions of opposing messages to the one that we're trying to push. So
Literally millions.
yes, yeah,
Yes.
so right now it's been okay. I deal with a lot of like-minded gentlemen that kind of travel a lot of the same roads that I've traveled and made a lot of the same mistakes that I've made, and they have sons of their own. So they're at the point where they want to teach their kids something different. But I know opposition is coming, but I'm willing to deal with it. But yeah, for the most part, the young men that we have spoken to, they're open to the idea. But I think that's the key. We're trying to catch them young. We're trying to
Yeah.
catch them
How
young.
young?
So
How young are you trying to catch them?
if we can catch them at 4 and 5, that's good enough. Because to be honest, that's how young they're being exposed to some of
Yeah.
the unhealthy stuff that we've learned.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
right now, a lot of the kids that we're talking about are really in that preteen age, 12, 11, 13, 14. But if we can go as young as 5, I think that'll be appropriate, because you're never too young to start to learn the appropriate ways of managing your sexuality. Of course, it has to be age appropriate. But
Right.
teaching a kid of what's a good touch and what's a bad touch. Because if I would have to say number 6 on that list of how a lot of Black men learned about sex would be abuse. A lot of men has experienced some sexual abuse in their history, and that also has conditioned and groomed the way they see their sexuality and the way they behave sexually. So, and it happened at a very young age. So,
Yeah.
and usually the message with sexual abuse when it comes to men, especially if it's a older lady or younger woman, we'll look at that guy as being lucky.
Right.
If you're 12 and you was over a girl that was 18, 16, the guys might be like, hey, you was lucky with an
And
older woman.
that's kind of where it starts, like
Yeah,
instead of saying, hey, man, she shouldn't have done that to you, that was wrong. It's like, oh
yeah,
no, that was actually cool, that was good, and
yeah,
just changing that whole dynamic and empowering, really empowering men and boys to know that your body works something too. I know the message with us girls as we've grown up through the years has always been, your body is precious and all those things. But that same messaging I've not heard toward the men, that your body is valuable, precious, and you should treat it in a certain way and manage it in a certain way. So I want to jump over for a second into these comments. I don't want to leave our little audience out. So hey, if y'all have any questions for myself, AB, feel free to put them in the comments. Let's see. We have Andrea that says, hey, love the intro. She's probably excited I think she posted that when I was talking about California. Thank you, honey. And Lawrence, hey, honey, how you doing? Lawrence done came on through, y'all. Look at there. And I think he's referring to me saying about men and mental health. Absolutely. And let's see. Oh, I think this is Yolanda. Hey, girl. Thank you for stopping by. Y'all go ahead and share. And like I said, if you got anything to add to the conversation, be sure to put it in the comments.